When I visited a crisis pregnancy center in Bakuli known as Wakisa Ministries to profile its founder, I met an emotionally scarred girl. She was brave enough to reveal a harrowing story of how she was defiled by her father. Barely 15 years, she's now pregnant.
It started in the first term holidays and it went on till I finished my PLE.
As he carried out this dastardly act, he kept her daughter locked in solitary. At no time did he ever use a condom. Lillian had already started menstruating and she was too naive about family planning methods to protect herself from an incestuous father.
When my elder sister came home, she said that she was also used by him when she was still young.
Such acts are an aberration in society.
I don't know what's wrong with men, and I run a risk of being attacked by men for talking about them. But for me, I think men potentially they have animalism in them. And remember, they were created after creating animals.
Who do we have walking with us on two legs? Are they human beings or are they some other kind of breed?
Samuel Mugamba, a principal clinical psychiatrist at Mulago Hospital who is also teaching psychiatry at Makerere University, says it's natural for people to loathe those who engage in such activities.
Outside they look okay, and yet inside there is what we call personality disorder, like a narcissistic personality disorder, where someone, it becomes very dramatic, sadistic. He wants to inflict pain. Whenever he inflicts pain, he gets psychological satisfaction.
However, he says sometimes such bizarre actions could be triggered by long-term psychological disorders, which the perpetrators suffered and are unknown to others.
To such a father, you see, there must have been something wrong, which went wrong in this person's early years of development.
During stages of growth, especially the toddler age, any abuse of a child could return to haunt them in future. It's this bottled-up depression that sometimes spills over into violent acts.
Because he wants to fulfill his own personal desire, goals, which probably he should have fulfilled at that time, but now he's fulfilling them at this time, at a wrong time, and at a wrong age.
I asked the psychiatrist what would prompt a father to defile his own daughters.
He has inferiority complex, and he feels he looks for a target which is much weaker, which cannot blow out.
Lillian fits this description: young, innocent, and naive, likely to capitulate to the demands of her father.
When he was starting to use me, he told me fierce words that if I tell anybody else, I would die, and my mom with my brother too.
Lillian reveals that her sister was blind, and when Lillian tried to reject his advances, the manipulative father said she would go blind as well if she did not give in to his desires.
He used to tell me that I should not have boyfriends when I'm still young, but he was deceiving me.
Mugamba says Lillian's father could be suffering from erotomania personality disorder.
It manifests with a lot of energy, a lot of thoughts racing in someone's mind negatively, and associated with very high libido.
This happens in both sexes. Women, being generally a weaker sex, may not force men into sex, but for erotomaniacs who are men, this disorder gives them more dominance and they will rape, molest, defile a woman at will, and the same will contribute to domestic violence, including sexual abuse.
Once you have consented to be together in marriage, it doesn't mean that it has given you a go ahead on the terms of sex. There should be consent, because you are a living animal of an upper grade.
We have allowed men to go too far, and we really need to bring them back to have that sense of dignity. How can a dignified man go and sleep with a 5-year-old child who is his daughter? I have a case like that in my district.
People get worried, you see. But me as a professional, I'm not worried because I know there is something wrong.
Lillian was lucky to escape the torment after her head teacher intervened. The father was arrested on the evening she escaped.
When such things happen, they would arrest such a man and take him to court and probably pass judgment. But they will leave out a certain discipline of health workers who could help probe and see the source of the problem.
Everybody in this country is presumed to be sane. The issue of being insanity or being sane is a question of law and evidence. We should also remember that before a person is taken to court for a grave offense like defilement or murder, that person must be subjected to medical examination.
But they have not used us. They have not used the people of this discipline.
Without assessment, the trend will go on until those with personality disorders suffer an irrevocable mental breakdown.
It's not only that person who is throwing stones to vehicle and then they grab him and bring him to us. But such people also needs a lot of groundwork.
There's also cultural prejudice towards people like Lillian who are rejected for giving birth to children after incestuous fathers. This could spawn a vicious cycle of mental disorders when the child comes to learn that he was sad as a result of